Ano ba, confirm niyo muna, buhay ba o buhay pa
Buhay
o
pa ata.
buhay pa, buhay pa.
Dapat yan, ano yan eh, parang dapat magsulat na lang siguro ako ng science fiction novel about Juan Ponce Enrile, ano, yung cryogenics. There's a famous Chinese science fiction novel, yung Three Body Problem, na
Yeah.
Yes.
ang time travel is depicted as cryogenics. No, you wake up 1,000 years later, you're in a different world. So baka yan ang mangyari sa kanya. He wakes up, he's back.
I think he wrote it already, yung kanyang autobiography. Di ba? Science fiction talaga yun. And ang question ngayon, what is he still alive? Apparently he's still alive, but yung lumalabas na commentary sa sa social media, yung ano pa what surprises me is how they want to remember Enrile as for example yung kanyang bar performance.
I know.
Na 100% sa
post na
mercantile
yun.
law. Yung mga ganong kinds of comments na I don't know. It's I don't want to comment first, but I want to know what you think about, because you've dealt with this guy, right? What you think about his impending demise?
Sabi niya,
Mga nagro-romanticize kasi, sumalo pa rin daw siya sa EDSA, and then yun nga, naka 100% siya sa mercantile law, and then typical story ng rags to riches, ng mga ganyan. So I think we have to tell the real story na dapat, yun yung tendency natin romanticize and you only remember some good things, but all the damages that the person has done to the country, biglang makakalimutan na natin, di ba?
Yeah, so kung tingnan ng mga Pilipino yung, let's say, 'di ba galit yung mga Pilipino minsan sa Customs Commissioner dahil notorious yung customs for corruption, 'di ba? I mean, like most Filipinos will agree that there's a lot of corruption diyan sa customs and that it's the Customs Commissioner who lets that happen. Well, it really was a Customs Commissioner. He started there. So,
wow.
Yung ginagawang sinabi mo nga no, na yung ginagawang parang pagpapabango, pagpapaganda sa history ni Enrile, sa ginawa ni Enrile, warning yan sa mga Pilipino na yung mga corrupt na nakikita nila ngayon sa customs, sa BIR, these are people who will become Enrile 5 years from now, 10 years from now. No? So, yun bang gusto nilang mangyari na nakawan na naman sila ng mga would-be Enriles na nasa gobyerno ngayon, and that they will then praise them 50 years from now because they lived long. yung pagiging immortal naman kasi minsan allows people enough time to sanitize their past. No? Sa akin, siguro, dapat mabuhay pa siya ng mas matagal. No? Maybe I wish him a long life so that we hold him accountable because apparently it takes centuries to hold people accountable and to write a better story about him. No? A story about, kinasuhan ako ni Enrile ng libel nung araw, nung nasa PCGG ako kasi sabi ko, he was involved in plunder involving the Coco Levy funds. He wasn't charged. Why wasn't he charged? Because he was defense minister in Cory Aquino's government and was a threat to the existence of that government if you charged him. So there were political reasons for not holding him accountable right away. But the fact that he was not held accountable later is, begs the question, why not? Kinasuhan niya ako tapos ang dami niyang reklamo na bakit ko siya tinawag na ganito, bakit ko siya inakusa ng ganyan, umabot kung saan-saan yung kaso, tapos natalo siya.
So, good for you. And
yeah, ibig sabihin kasi natatakot tayo kay Enrile. Yung mga Pilipino, and I think some of this praise comes from, this idea na ang galing ni Enrile kasi he got away with it.
Yeah.
Well, you let him get away with it. Ako, I did not. So, and maybe I'm proof that you can let people not get away with it and still somehow do your job. So, tapos nagalit pa yan sa akin dahil later on, much later, I linked him to yung flooding sa Luzon, no, because of the forest concessions that he controls, yung match companies.
Correct.
Because they took over these companies using yung law firm Accra, Angara, Cruz, sino ba yung isa pang si Regala, You know, tayo, I'm sure si Dan, maraming kaibigan na nasa Accra o galing sa Accra, no? And then, you know, we hobnob with people who are part of this firm or this person who has enabled corruption in the Philippines, no? And I think it's important that we don't do that, no? I'm not saying we cut off ties with the individuals and law firms, but we also should be honest about that. Yun ang nangyari kay Enrile, no? A lot of UP Law graduates hang out with Enrile, take selfies with Enrile, or praise Enrile, and parang binibigyan siya ng ginagawang icon for other things when in fact he's an icon of corruption. And
Parang maraming ganyan naman graduate sa UP Law. Diba si
Hey.
Attorney Estelito Mendoza, diba?
Mhm.
Marami ding nag-idolize sa kanya.
Yeah, and ang idolization nila is ang galing sa mga kaso, no? But if you were the person who also was behind the appointment of the justices who decide the cases you litigate, magaling ka na appointer, hindi ka magaling na litigator, no? So ganun yung culture sa Pilipinas, no? And so, well, you know, let's take as an example my own classmate, no, Harry Roque, no? Na parang
Yeah.
now, of course, now marami nang reklamo against him, but that's precisely what the classmates or the students or the, you know, co-practitioners of Juan Ponce Enrile should do, no? They should be the first to come. Wala naman yatang mangyayari sa iyo if you actually point out that part of the success of Ponce Enrile, Cayetano, whatever, Bautista, Pecabar Law Office or Accra Law Office comes from the fact that Juan Ponce Enrile was the dictator's enforcer. So you say that because it's the truth, no? I don't know what these people think they can gain from praising Enrile when they can gain more in terms of credibility, in terms of just, you know, faith in yung sarili nilang siguro pakiramdam na they tell the truth about him if they know him enough.
Mm-hmm. And I think it manifests yung primary problem sa Pilipinas eh. Kasi yung nagagalit lang tayo sa corruption kapag ka nakita natin immediately. But after a while, we forget and then romanticize, and then the people involved in that corruption issue, nandyan pa rin, hindi nawawala, and they're able to change their narrative, revise their history, and make themselves look good again. Yeah, even if yung Senate natin, pag tiningnan mo yung mga nasa Senate, yan din naman yung mga involved sa Napoles dati, nandyan pa rin sa Senate. Well, ang ebidensya natin, yung presidente natin, martial law, the Marcoses, and yet, presidente, and really being able to do this. Tatanungin sana kita, so, ano sa tingin mo, but yun na naman balik naman tayo sa revolusyon
Well, hindi naman kailangan na, obviously because you also cannot automate revolution. If you take 5 steps, the 6-step revolution na kaagad. There are things that are radical, but and maybe revolutionary in their own way. Sa Spain, no, isang halimbawa, it took a while, but they removed the remains, no, yung katawan ni dictator nila si Francisco Franco, who ruled them for decades, no, all the way to the 70s, and you know, transferred his grave to stop honoring him as a hero. So
yes,
may mga nangyayaring ganyan. Hindi naman yan revolution, pero malaking radical na bagay na takot kasi ang mga Pilipino minsan dun sa idea na if you do something that is radical and sends a political message, baka makulong ka, or iba naman, I think it's opportunism, no? Baka hindi ka I don't know, baka hindi ka ma-nominate sa party list na ginagawa mo ngayon or something like that. Whatever, but and then wag kang magreklamo, no? If this same person, the children of this person you bury as a hero or you honor while he's still about to die, then follow in his footsteps and then steal from your children and grandchildren, because it's not just a cycle, no? Ang cycle kasi parang you can break it, no? It's a self-inflicted punishment.